Heyo, and welcome to How Would You Build, a little series in which I take your favorite characters from fiction, fantasy, and all forms of media and attempt to build them as lore accurate as possible in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. In this series, we'll be using all source books from Wizards of the Coast, except the 2024 revision of the Player's Handbook. If you have any suggestions for characters, make sure to drop them in the comments, join the Discord to post an official request on the DnD channel, or ask me directly on my coffee. Additionally, the full character build written down with backstory suggestions will be there as well. In this episode, we will be building the father of Megumi, the sorcerer killer himself, Toji Fushiguro. This build will contain spoilers for the anime of Jujutsu Kaisen, so if you haven't watched it, I thoroughly recommend you go through it if you are in the mood for a little bit of emotional damage. But if you don't care for spoilers, then we will try our best to build this incredibly deadly character as close as possible to the anime. This means that we want a character whose body is enhanced by his heavenly restriction. This means that our character will have extreme strength, extreme speed, and tremendous dexterity along with highly enhanced senses. Even mundane weapons will be extremely powerful. They are very reactive and masters of martial combat regardless of whatever weapon they use. Additionally, they can deliver deadly blows on a well-laid plan to take down even the most powerful of Jujutsu sorcerers. For Toji's ability scores, we will generate them from the standard array, and we will begin by putting a 15 in dexterity. To preface this decision, I understand that Toji is described as freakishly strong, and we will achieve this by our choice of subclass rather than investing directly into strength. Toji is also nearly impossible to see while in movement, and even a young Gojo describes him as insanely fast. Lightning quick reflexes, immense precision, along with being extremely accurate with ranged weapons is what characterizes this 15 in dexterity. Next is Constitution. Toji is massively enhanced physically, and his ability to tank being hit by Rainbow Dragon, Death Swarm, and Gojo's Red is a testament to his insane resilience. Then we put our next score into Wisdom. Toji is highly perceptive thanks to his heavenly restriction enhancing his 5 senses. Additionally, this score will functionally work as our Strength score thanks to our subclass choices for the purpose of portraying Toji as insanely strong. After this, we put a 12 in Intelligence. The Sorcerer killer is known for elaborating plans, just practical enough to succeed, and with some research, adapt to his opponent's weaknesses and strengths to come out on top. He also does understand the implications of several aspects of Jujutsu. Finally, we dump Strength and Charisma respectively. Toji's Strength comes from his heavenly restriction, which we will replicate with our subclass choice later on. Charisma, though, has to be an 8. Toji is a blunt individual who is extremely rude and very cocky. He has no friends, and even the closest person in his life to him, his handler, Shiu Kong, does not like to interact with him at all outside of work. For Toji's race, the choice will be obvious. We will go very inhuman, as Toji is an exceptional human being born with no cursed energy as a result of his heavenly restriction, granting him incredible physical skills. The ability score increases we will take are a +1 in dexterity and a +1 into wisdom, rounding out both of those scores. Additionally, we will grab a proficiency in the athletics skill, as Toji was enhanced physically essentially from birth. The feat is where many will disagree, and normally you would take Mage Slayer, since Toji is called the Sorcerer Killer. For me, though, I really do not like that feat. I feel it is severely underpowered, and there are far better alternatives. In terms of dealing with mages, we will entirely bypass the need for concentration checks and instead try to inflict a much more debilitating status condition on them, even through the shield spell. And so, for the feat choice, we will get tough to mitigate some of the lack of tankiness that our future classes will give us. This feat choice is justified by the fact that Toji has led a very hard life in the Zenin clan, where he was bullied essentially from birth and abused by his peers while he was part of the clan. With his dedication and stoic demeanor, he has survived his earlier years, and for us, in terms of player, we will have an easier time handling the earlier levels, but I still recommend that you rely on a healthy dose of hit-and-run tactics and ranged attacks when you feel situations get a little too dangerous. For the background, if you want to start Toji off as a noble who is part of the Zenin clan but doesn't necessarily get the benefits of his rank, or a haunted one because of his traumatic past with the clan, you can totally do that. We, on the other end, will get a custom background, which we will call the Sorcerer Killer. This background will grant us proficiency in Arcana and Perception. This is because Toji has learned a lot about Jujutsu sorcery while keeping an eye on his own back during his stay with the Zenin. During said stay with his clan, he would also gain Calligrapher's for supplies, and the language of Undercommon, as he left the clan after undisclosed additional trauma. This has left him with a mix of knowledge from traditions of Japanese clans and some dealings with the side of crime. For the equipment, we will get the starting equipment from Faction Agent. The first bit of equipment that we get is a badge or emblem from your faction. While Toji might still have some way of being recognized as part of the Zenin, this memento is either left in a dusty corner or sold off to foragers for gambling money. Additionally, he also has a copy of a seminal faction text. This will be our recorded knowledge on the limitless technique. Toji will study these notes and keep them handy for his showdown with the pinnacle of the modern Jujutsu world. Finally, we have common clothes, otherwise known as the bare minimum the Zenin clan could clothe him with, or Toji's signature fit. We will also get 15 gold pieces, and this will be Toji's gambling money. In terms of feature, we get criminal contact. This criminal contact will be Shiu Kong, Toji's middleman. This individual was his only help to any degree, and for his criminal work, he was the middleman with whom he retained at least a measure of trust, if not an extremely rocky relationship. Due to his callous and cold nature, this relationship never evolved beyond professional respect, but we are now left with a background that is a mix between an exiled noble and a killer-for-hire criminal, which I feel fits Toji to a T. For Toji levels, we begin with Monk. This grants us proficiency in simple weapons, short swords, and strength and dexterity saving throws. Additionally, we will also grab the skills of acrobatics and stealth, two skills which Toji was very well known for, and also represent his physical prowess. In terms of equipment, we begin our time in the Zenin clan with a quarterstaff. This will functionally be our initial version of Playful Cloud. The damage squares up to a d8 when used with both hands, so that is the reason why we did not get unarmed fighting immediately from Variant Human. An explorer's pack constitutes our second item, since it's very unlikely that the Zenin will spare any practical tools for younger Toji, while an older Toji would just need himself a bed and some takoyaki. Our final item will be 10 darts, which will be flavored as simple throwing knives to quickly dispatch of mundane enemies. Make sure you use these if you need to survive level 1. Our first monk feature will be unarmored defense. Toji relies mostly on instinct and reflexes to dodge attacks, and that will set his AC at 15 for now, and will improve as we get on with levels. Our final feature for level 1 will be martial arts. The Zenin clan places lots of emphasis on using cursed energy and cursed techniques, but they also do know martial arts. Toji can naturally weave kicks and punches in between hits of his Playful Cloud and other weapons, and dexterity in this case involves gaining momentum with kicks and punches into strategic areas, so aim for the soft spots as you begin to build your power as Toji. For level 2, we get another level of monk. This will grant us an armored movement, which increases our movement speed by 10 feet and puts us on the path to eventually being able to walk on water. After this, we also get Ki. This represents a well of inner stamina and power, which we will use to begin manifesting Toji's immense physical prowess. You can either unleash a barrage of attacks, which we will call the Fushiguro Flurry. You can also dodge when fighting a stronger opponent, or you can even use Step of the Wind to appear in front of an enemy in a blur of speed. Lastly, we get Dedicated Weapon. Functionally, we replace our quarterstaff with a warhammer that we will reflavor as being the Playful Cloud. To reflavor this, you could also say that Toji just gains greater proficiency with the Playful Cloud and spends a little bit of money training with it, that money being invested essentially and mechanically into the warhammer. At this point, we still carry throwing knives for added versatility. At monk level 3, we obtain Ki Fueled Attack. This feature grants us an additional attack as a bonus action when we spend 1 Ki as part of our action. Not a very exciting feature, but it might come in handy sometimes. We also get Deflect Missile, which means that no matter the projectile, a quicken reaction time allows for Toji to react very quickly and deflect projectiles in a pinch. As for subclass, we will get Way of the Astral Self. The first feature will be Arms of the Astral Self. With this feature, we gain a laundry list of abilities. To put them simply, Toji begins to perfect his mastery over his heavenly restriction. With a little stretch at the start of the fight, he suddenly gains uncanny strength as he focuses on his training and his inner wellspring of stamina. We are flavoring the arms as not having an appearance per se. With this feature, Toji begins by slamming the floor with his foot, creating a small crater. Then for 10 minutes, or about 100 rounds, we can use Wisdom for all of our strength checks, and our unarmed strikes reach further and they hit so hard that the damage becomes force damage instead. For the reach, we can flavor it as the hit being so hefty that the shockwave carries the blow a little bit further beyond itself. Force damage is also ideal for handling swarms of rabbits, for example, by bypassing their inherent physical damage resistance. But for all intents and purposes, our punches look and act just the same. At level 4, we obtain our 4th level of Monk. This will grant us an ability score increase, which we will put into Wisdom to bring it up to a 16 Wisdom. This will grant us 16 AC, which represents an increase in Toji's reaction time and gaining more raw strength from further perfecting his handling over his heavenly restriction. After this, we also get slow fall. Toji doesn't really take fall damage, so we can negate it by relying on our enhanced body and stronger legs to take a fall. The last feature of this level is quickened healing. While it's not reverse curse energy healing, it's certainly enhanced healing that we can use before a short rest, almost like we have improved natural healing as well in our perfected physical form. At Monk level 5, our martial arts dice improve to a d6, and we also gain extra attack. This means that now Toji can attack twice with his weapon and then make 2 unarmed attacks. Make sure you include a description of his attacks being thrown in a blur of speed. Their number will increase as we continue down in our build. Most importantly though, we get a feature that will make Toji incredibly fearsome against spellcasters, and that feature is Stunning Strike. Further adding on his power, his attacks carry so much weight that he can temporarily incapacitate a foe, only to shower them with even more attacks. Ino and Dagon were clear victims of getting stun locked by Toji Fushiguro's flurry, and all it takes is 1 stun to barrage an enemy with attacks at advantage until the end of your next turn. Most importantly though, the stunned condition inflicts the incapacitated condition. This means that Jujutsu sorcerers automatically lose concentration upon failing the saving throw against being stunned. Effectively, this bypasses the need for concentration checks, and so all the buffs that casters like to add to their concentration checks are void. The final feature for this level will also help against sorcerers. It is called Focused Aim. Normally, pesky sorcerers like to pull a last-ditch effort at protecting themselves. Mechanically, they will cast the shield spell, adding +5 to their AC. But that is nothing that Toji cannot circumvent by swiping away a protective technique only to bludgeon a sorcerer, or an ocean-themed disaster curse, to near death being exercised. This is costly, but so is taking damage from a spellcaster and then getting hit with Stunning Strike. For level 6, we will make our first multi-class into Rogue. This will grant us proficiency in Insight, as Toji has an uncanny sense to figure out when things aren't quite right. This is represented by a sense of self-preservation, which encourages him to be well prepared before a fight. We also obtain Thieves' Tools. Lockpicking is an essential skill of criminals, and this allows Toji to steal some information and maybe even weapons from the Zenin clan. Since we don't know exactly how Toji got his hands on the Soul Split Katana, we will assume that he stole it from the Zenin before leaving the clan. In terms of armor, we also get access to light armor, and the first feature we obtain is Thieves' Can. Toji has recently joined the criminal world, and this involves a great deal of speaking with mundane words to mean grim things. The second feature we obtain is Expertise, which we will grab onto Athletics and Stealth. Toji is described as nearly impossible to be caught. Sneaking up on someone, having double proficiency, allows him to have a +9 at this level in both Stealth and Athletics. When we lean into the Heavenly Restriction to use Wisdom for our Strength, our Athletics will also have +9. For combat purposes, make sure that you shove the enemy prone by doing a leg sweep, only to then absolutely obliterate them with advantage on a flurry, or to try to hold them down with a grapple while bludgeoning them with your signature Fushiguro flurry. Maybe throw in some stunning strikes to ensure you can continue to deliver the smackdown as turns wind on. Most importantly, we get Sneak Attack now as our final rogue feature for level 1. At this point, we have the Soul Split Katana and maybe even the Inverted Spear of Heaven. Make sure to ask your DM for a magic item that reflects these ones, otherwise simple magic items with a +1, 2, or 3 bonus of some kind works just as well. For the katana, we will be reflavoring a rapier as dealing slashing. These damage types are essentially interchangeable, so this flavor is not exactly a boost. For DMs who disagree, keep in mind that scimitars and short swords are the exact same when it comes to combat stats. They just exchange piercing and slashing damage. For the Inverted Spear of Heaven, we will use a short sword. This will allow for a momentary dual-wielding combo in case we want to throw an extra little bit of an insult by stabbing the honored one with a pocket knife. Make sure you keep Playful Cloud, though, as a reflavored hammer around in your inventory, be it a living bag of holding or the metaphysical DnD player inventory. At level 7, we obtain our second level of Rogue. At this point, we only get Cunning Action. This lets Toji take the dash, hide, or disengage action as a bonus action. This is obviously a testament to Toji's speed, stealth, and agility, taking little to no stamina to manage. We obtain another level of Rogue, and this brings our Sneak Attack dice to 2d6, meaning that Toji is becoming better and better at aiming for the head, the neck, or the heart. His foes' weak points are becoming more and more visible to him. The first feature we get at this level will be Steady Aim. If your opponent happens to be a cocky Jujutsu sorcerer, pierce his defenses by trading off on movement to ensure your first attack gets advantage. Make sure to also use your focused aim from your monk feature if you miss, because your opponent used the shield spell, for example. Bonus points if you use your inverted Spear of Heaven and then slap a stunning strike to follow with several more stabs for a signature Fushiguro flurry. For the subclass, we will get the Swashbuckler subclass. Toji has an extremely cocky attitude despite not having the charisma to back it up, but he certainly shows a lot of fancy, speedy footwork as first feature of the Swashbuckler subclass. When he is resurrected, Toji's nimble movements allow him to recover from getting tripped by a prepared Megami attack and move away at lightning speed to prepare for his next move. If you didn't manage to stun your opponent, make sure that you run away and then prepare your next attack. Even better if the mage wasted resources in defending himself. Our second feature will be Rakish Audacity. While we gain no benefit from the charisma part of this ability, this makes sense. He might have been a better person when Mama Fushiguro was around, but her death wrecked any chance of his character improving. On the other end though, Toji remains just as cunning as before, allowing sneak attacks as long as you have only one enemy within 5 feet of you. Make sure that you steady aim only when you absolutely have to hit or attack at range. At level 9, we bump our dexterity by 2, our AC becomes 17, and our 2-hit and damage bonus increases as well. Toji is becoming faster and faster, something which should worry sorcerers trying to escape the signature Fushiguro flurry. At level 10, we obtain a 5th level. This increases our sneak attack to 3d6, which means that now Toji threatens lives by just hitting his enemies once, as he always aims for the kill, unless he is dealing with Geto specifically. Maintaining concentration after so much additional damage will be harder should we roll anything more than the average damage, not to mention Stunning Strike is also a factor. Lastly, for the rogue levels, we get Uncanny Dodge. This allows us to reactively avoid most of the damage that we are dealt on an attack that hits us. This might not prevent death via Hollow Purple, but Toji can at least survive getting hit with red. For level 11, we continue with a level of Monk. This grants us an additional 5 feet of movement and Key Empowered Strike. But since our Uncanny Human Strength already deals force damage, this won't be very useful for us. Nevertheless, it is a nice feature to obtain. Additionally, we also get the subclass feature Visage of the Astral Self. When you activate Arms of the Astral Self, you can spend an additional key point to activate the Visage as well. This grants us 3 benefits. The first one is that we get Astral Sight. In other words, darkness does not affect Toji's sharpened senses. Next up, we get Wisdom of the Spirit. Since Toji is in his state of heightened senses, he can read his opponent much better, granting him advantage on insight. Additionally, he also looks absolutely terrifying with his physical prowess, allowing us to use the variant ruling for charisma to use strength, which, remember, we use wisdom for instead, making our intimidation checks have advantage and be pretty high when we rely on our physical might. Lastly, we get Word of the Spirit. This can be a booming voice or a piercing whisper, both of which are realistic in terms of the pinnacle of the physical prowess in the world of JJK. At level 12, we obtain our 7th level of Monk. This will grant us Evasion, which roughly at this level is kind of necessary, as more and more enemies like to throw nasty dexterity saving throws and fireballs around without much care. Using his intense speed, Toji can avoid this most of the time, or take little to no damage from it. The second feature we get at this level is Stillness of Mind. If Toji's mind is affected by fear or a charm, all he needs to do is take an action to end it. Things might seem wrong in the moment when presented with an awakened Gojo, but Toji steels himself and still goes for the kill. At level 13, we obtain our 8th level of Monk, and this will allow us to bump our wisdom by 2. Our figurative strength increases thanks to our greater mastery over our heavenly restriction, along with the heft behind our stunning strikes. Toji becomes more and more deadly to sorcerers as the levels go. Our AC has also reached a respectable 18 as well. At level 14, we gain another level of Monk for a total of 9 levels, and at this point, we get Unarmored Movement Improvement. What this means is that Toji can run along walls and across liquids on his turn as long as he moves. This allows us to fight cursed spirits like Dagon. When your movement ends, make sure that you grapple onto Dagon before continuing your onslaught of attacks so that you can stay afloat the moment your turn comes back. At level 15, we gain a 10th level of Monk, which grants us an additional 5 feet of movement and purity of body. Toji's enhanced physique would have no problem shrugging off either poison or disease if we assume that his immune system is also boosted. These 2 ailments become more and more common as levels go on. At level 16, we obtain our 11th level of Monk. This grants us an improvement to our martial arts damage, which is now a D8. And additionally, it grants us the subclass feature Body of the Astral Self. The first feature we gain from it is Deflect deflect energy, which allows us to use Toji's improved reaction time to tank a large part of Gojo's red and other types of elemental damage by swatting away chunks of it using our curse tools. Second feature is Empowered Arms. Once per turn, we deal a chunk of additional damage since our heavenly restriction greatly empowers the heft of our blows, absolutely obliterating our opponents with a first attack of heavy damage. At level 17, we conclude our monk levels with Monk 12, which grants us an ability score increase that we will spend on the Alert feat. This grants us an additional +5 on initiative, culminating in a total +9. This represents Toji reacting with extreme speed, which largely prevents surprise and hidden opponents gaining an edge on him from being unseen. As he gets more familiar with the world of Jujutsu Sorcerers, he develops ways to counter sorcerers gaining the upper hand on him. At level 18, we multi-class one final time into Fighter. The first fighting style that we will obtain is Blind Fighting. Toji can rely on his other senses when his vision becomes obstructed by something like a wall of rabbits, or maybe even illusions. All it takes is one mistake for a sorcerer to get hit with a piercing attack. The second feature we get at this level is also Second Wind. While the healing is small, it is certainly welcome so that Toji can recover a little bit faster midway through combat or before a short rest. At level 19, we obtain a second level of Fighter. This grants us Action Surge. We finally have obtained the signature complete Fushiguro Flurry. Grab onto an opponent and deliver the pain with 6 attacks in quick succession. Make sure you try to land a stunning strike as well so that you can continue delivering the pain. Finally, at level 20, we get third level of Fighter to obtain the Battle Master subclass. The first feature is Student of War, from which we obtain Cartographer's Tools. This will allow us to map the final raid to take down the Honored One using terrain and context to Toji's advantage. Additionally, we also get 4 D8 superiority dice, which we can use on the 3 following maneuvers. The first one is Precision Attack. This allows us to get an extra push to get past those pesky shields and higher ACs to have Toji land his terrifying stunning strike and end those spellcasters in a deadly flurry. Second maneuver is Brace. As soon as an enemy gets too close, spend a superiority dice and attack as a reaction, dealing sneak attack out of your turn. You can also add Stunning Strike to this attack to make sure that you prevent an entire enemy turn. Our last maneuver will be Pushing Attack, when you really need to get a disaster curse isolated from your accidental party that you are accidentally protecting and send them packing with extra d8s of damage on top of each attack for good measure. Now for the pros and cons of Toji's build. For the pros, Toji is extremely speedy. We have 50 feet of movement, a bonus action to dash, and we can also walk on water. Additionally, Toji is overwhelmingly strong. We're looking at a +16 on athletics at level 20. Additionally, we also have very solid damage, and we are extremely tanky, thanks to Uncanny Dodge, Deflect Missiles, and Deflect Energy. Lastly, and most importantly, Toji is extremely deadly to spellcasters with a high bonus to hit, and even more bonuses to bypass the shield spell and deliver a Stunning Strike. This Stunning Strike will break concentration by incapacitating the enemy with a higher Constitution saving throw that doesn't benefit from the bonuses to concentration checks. For cons though, we have absolutely no spellcasting, which means if we are caught in a situation where magic is blocking us, either we have the tool for it or we are in a pickle. This build is also extremely physical, which means we have little knowledge skills, and if the situation does not revolve around combat or using our physical abilities, we are kind of stumped. Additionally, there is not much versatility beyond combat. We are extremely proficient with our physical skills, but that's essentially where it ends. We do have some knowledge on magic or curse energy if you prefer. We can also somewhat tell if an enemy is lying or not, but aside from that, we don't have much to give to the party. And lastly, and most importantly, we might struggle to damage certain enemies without weapons that bypass resistance to non-magical weapons, if we want to stay in character, of course. Maybe your version of Toji can rely on that force damage to punch and rip apart curses and spirits, but if you want to stay in character, make sure that you use your weapons and involve the hits with your body involving the weapon in some way. And that's it for this episode of How Would You Build, focusing on Toji Fushiguro, the Sorcerer Killer from the show Jujutsu Kaisen. I hope that you've all enjoyed this build and that you agree with me on some of these decisions. If you have different opinions on how to achieve the Fushiguro Flurry, or if you prefer, for example, to build Toji as more of a barbarian or maybe more of a fighter, make sure that you tell me in the comments down below. Maybe do a little subscribble as well if you want to see more of this, because that is probably the single best way to tell me that you want to see more lore accurate builds. And I will be seeing you all very, very soon, be it here on the comments, on the Discord, or maybe even on my coffee for more lore accurate D&D builds and D&D content. Be well and build well. Bye bye.